Hi, I'm Hannah, CEO of Dream Life Consulting, where we help amazing coaches get amazing clients, about 3 to 10 of them every single month, using our systems for lead generation, sales, and scaling so they can make their dream life their real life. And I am recording this at the beginning of January. We just got back from the holiday break, and I also just kicked off a brand new client who paid in full. She's an OG coach who's been in the industry for nearly 30 years. She has tons of experience, and she said to me, Hannah, this is exactly how I want my sales to go. There's no ick factor. I know exactly what we're doing. Like, this is why I'm here and why she paid in full. And anytime I hear someone say, I want this, I know, okay, I need to share this with more people, because so often we can feel alone. But I know that as coaches, and the mission that I'm on this year is to help us all get back into integrity. And there are very few people out here actually showing us how to grow our business in integrity and get our lives back. So I just want to document what's been going down in our business and some of our clients so that you can see what is possible in the coaching industry in 2025. Because if I had seen this video a year ago, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have been like, no, that's not possible. So just documenting this so you have an example of what is possible, because coaches, you're not meant to just be focusing on marketing all of the time. And the gurus have sold us this lifestyle that if you just post to Instagram regularly, you're gonna have this like dream life with time, freedom, and people knocking on your door all of the time asking you, take my credit card. But the truth is there's a lot more that goes into actually building a business. That now our reality is that I'm showing up to 1 to 2 new ideal clients every single week, even during the holidays. Okay, so we had a pay in full client and 2 deposits taken in between Christmas and New Year's. And that is very unheard of in the coaching industry. There's so many beliefs about how everyone slows down, or like, I don't want to bother people between the holidays, or nobody wants to start something new at the end of the year. Nobody's investing in high ticket transformational programs. Like, all of that, those beliefs have been burned down in my book because of the reality that we're living. And again, I wouldn't have believed it until I lived it. So I want you to have the experience so that you can live into, a consistent reality this year. Because last year, or before I learned all these things I'm going to talk about today, or had these shifts, I had very long sales cycles. People would reach out on the website, and then I would email them back, and then they'd take a week, and then I would just be manually chasing people down. And honestly, most all of my clients were coming from referrals. And this meant my existing clients and a few of my biz besties were just the ones kind of feeding me a client, not even every month. Let's be honest. I wasn't getting new clients every single month. I was writing in my journal every single month, I'm going to manifest 10 clients. And then the next month I would try to manifest 10 clients. And if you're in that position, it will lead to burnout. If it isn't already burning you out to constantly be asking, where is my next client coming from? It's what burned me out and led me on this path to, build a real business and really figure out lead gen. But not just lead gen that was gonna get more people in. The kind of lead gen that has an amazing coach come and pay in full. Someone who has 30 years of experience. Her application honestly intimidated me when I saw it. This is what's possible. But again, before I was just chasing people down, journaling in my notebook. I had felt I had tried every shiny object of host a webinar and post consistently, and maybe just this vulnerable email that I send will have people chasing me down with their credit card saying, I want to work with you. But honestly, all that just feels so silly. But I remember how anxious I was all of the time trying to make those strategies work, right? I was always trying to, again, I wasn't even like taking strategic actions. I was just always like scrolling and looking and thinking and talking and like in my head, like, what should I do next? Okay, put out an offer, like a webinar. Okay, do a podcast. Okay, like just all of this hopium that is all they're teaching us in the coaching space, right? Just like keep spinning your wheels on content, keep hosting events. I don't know. Again, it feels silly now, but back then, I was just anxious all the time, trying to find something, trying to figure out where my next client would come from, but always ending the month like, oh, we got to do that again? Like, no real plan besides referrals. And that's actually where this woman, this new coach that I just kicked off, is coming from as well. She has some existing clients. They've all come through either her warm market, friends referring her, or she does have another clinic that like refers people to her and says, hey, we'll just hand deliver you folks. But they're starting to run out and she's tired. She's like, I am too old to be wondering about this. I need something that's consistent. I need something that's reliable. And so now we're able to give coaches our CEO system for lead generation because we have infrastructure and systems that I've developed over the last year and have been handing out to the best that helps you connect with people that actually need your services. This is not for everyone, okay? Coaches, I understand you want this to be accessible, but the truth is the people who actually want coaching are high performers. Who invests in coaching? People who care about personal development, transformation, people who see the value in investing in themselves. And you can't just post on Instagram and hope this life coaching inspiration hits someone. You need it to be targeted. You need it to be connecting you with the right kind of people. So that's the C, the way our software, targets and connects people. The C of our CEO system. And then we have education and engagement strategies that help people actually see your value. So this new client watched a video of mine and said, oh my gosh, I know I just met you on LinkedIn, but everything you're saying is exactly what I've been looking for. And so then she came into our offer, and knew that she had to get started, knew that she had to pay in full because it was exactly what she was looking for. No one else is offering the kind of partnership that we do. And so that's when she told me, Hannah, I want my sales process to be exactly like this. There's no ick factor. I haven't seen anything like it. And I know that is true because of all of the work that we've done around positioning ourselves, not just as another business coach or another mastermind or online course for marketing, but actually getting people the solutions that they need. And this was one of the biggest transformations because when I was just relying on referrals, I had to like bend over backwards and say, okay, Susie told you I would do that for you, so yes, I will do that for you. Okay, this person said I could do it this way, or this person told you my rates were this, and you're just in this like reactionary place where you have to say yes, you have to people please, I was just like making different offers to different people and saying, okay, sure, we can book some extra one-on-ones. Okay, sure, I can write your LinkedIn profile for you. Okay, like I was just like in a position where I had to say yes because they were coming from referrals, and I knew if I didn't people please that I would lose the sale, right? They would go shop around and look for another copywriter or look for another mentor. And so I was in a really vulnerable position with sales. I definitely wasn't in a place where I could be choosy, where, I'm only working with the best coaches now. We actually hand select through our application process. Another thing I didn't have, an application process. I was just trying to take every interested person with a credit card I could take. But when you get out of the referral world and you actually have a system that new people are coming to you, you really do get to work with the best and hand select those ideal clients. I believe that there are enough great coaches for everyone who needs one. I don't think this is about like competing or making you stand out because of the deliverables in your program or because you have a cute haircut or like all these things we do as coaches to try to like stand out. I believe, and I keep seeing this proof in our business, it's that coaches have real solutions. It's just about connecting them with the right people that actually makes a real business hum. And what I mean by that is if you're someone who hasn't really figured out lead gen, or you don't exactly know where your next client is coming from, you're in a really vulnerable position. You're definitely not in an expert position. You're definitely not in your zone of genius. Again, you have to react and you have to just like get sales in. But so many of the coaches that we talk to, including this new OG coach who has more years of experience than I have years on earth, what we know is that we want to be kind of coveted. We want to be kind of elite. We only want to work with the best. Our people, right? The ones who get it, who actually see our value. And if you don't have a proven way to get new people to know about you, then you're just relying on like what everyone currently thinks about you and will they like you. So with this new client, she's determined to get out of her referral market because she told me, she's like, honestly, Hannah, I'm too old to still be worrying about where's the next client coming from. I don't have time or energy to do a launch or build a new website or have some mastermind. She's like, I just don't have energy to do all of the things that the industry's telling me I have to do. Our CEO system looks like the most logical thing that is actually going to guarantee new clients every single month. And I was like, I know, it's wild. It's like, that's why I look back now a year ago at the strategies I was using and I'm like, that was so silly. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore that I was just like throwing content onto LinkedIn and like hoping you like my cute email. And like these strategies, if you really take like 17 steps back and you think about how business works, how client acquisition works, what we're doing in the coaching industry is kind of silly. So a lot of our lead generation systems have come from other industries because I knew that for myself. I looked at what was being offered in the coaching industry and I was like, none of that works for me. None of that checks the box of rinse and repeat. I can do it no matter how I feel or where I am in the world. None of this is like something that I would be excited to do every single day or every single week. I'm gonna run out of energy for webinars. Again, it's just, you gotta take 17 steps back. And that's what this coach did and why she's working with us. So the lead gen side of things, she knows we have a solution in place. We even guarantee this in our offer because I just don't wanna be like every other business coach or mastermind that has big offers and no real, nothing but to back it up. So the big issue that we need to solve with this new client though, is that when you leave your warm market, when you leave your referral circle, you have to up-level your marketing. Because if you've just relied on referrals and people have just been coming to you on a whim or when they fall out of the sky because of your manifesting practices, they are already pre-sold. Okay, so warm market people, they already know, like, and trust you. Maybe their friend told them what you do for them, and so they come to you and they're like, okay, this is what I want. They feel ready to get started. But when you go to new markets and you get out of that existing circle, you need to be able to explain what you do and what your value is. That isn't just like, well, what she said. And it's really hard to figure that out when you're in the box, right? Even for me, I can do branding and marketing messaging for other people, but I look at myself and I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like, what am I? What is this? And so the big shift that I have learned and I now teach all of our clients is that you have to move out of being a service provider. Service providers, do one-on-ones. They're career coaches. They do blood tests. They look at your resume, right? Like all those things, and they call themselves a blank coach, or I help this person do this thing. Okay, that's a service provider. A solution provider is actually how you have to position yourself. And that's what we're going to be working on with this OG coach on, because again, people have just come and she said, sure, I can do that. She's respected as an expert in her field. So people already know they want to work with her, and she's just making up different offers and saying like, okay, like, what do you want to pay me for? Basically. So we need to position her with a marketing message that people outside of her warm market are actually going to resonate with. And not just resonate with, but need, okay? Because again, we can put out marketing messages that say, hey, I'm the best Barbie with purple shoes, or I'm the best health coach with blood tests, or I'm the best career coach that uses human design. But all of that stuff is positioning you as a commodity, where literally I can look at the shelf of Barbie coaches and say, okay, this coach does resume writing, this coach does leadership coaching, this coach does one-on-ones, this coach has a group, like that's all comparable. But with this new client that we're working with, we're going to be positioning her in a league of her own. And this is also why we hand select the people we work with, because we want to take real experts, people who have real life experience, who know they have solutions to offer, but can't just go out there and say, hire me as your coach. They need stronger messaging so that just like our business, they have an application pipeline of people who see their value, are interested in it, not just like comparing them to Barbie coaches on the shelf, right? So if you're a commodity coach, it means you're competing on things like deliverables, price point, type of coach, your slogan, how cute your website is, how many reviews you have. Again, these are the things we keep ourselves busy with. That's silly because we're just competing as commodities. But you want to position yourself in a league of your own as the solution provider, as the expert in your field, as the thought leader, as the world changer. And most coaches are so worried about where's the next lead coming from, like where's my client, where's my cash, where's my clients, that they don't ever take those 17 steps back to think, who am I? What is my value? What solution am I offering the world? And that's going to be our first step. So in our first week of working with these new clients, we always have a messaging deep dive, either with me or someone on my team, where we get you out of that box and you say what your, expertise is. You say what you think, what kind of coaching you do, and then we add in market research and our own expertise to position you in your league of your own. And this is going to be the shifting factor for this new client, and why I know she paid in full is because she sees that that's going to just be the first switch. But then if you take that marketing messaging to a market who actually has a problem that you can solve and can afford it, remember this isn't for everyone, you're going to be selling like hotcakes. It just makes sense that there are people in the world with a problem, and if you can solve it, they will buy it. This makes our job very easy as marketers because it's not about finding the algorithm or growing your audience or running a bunch of ads. It's really about positioning and nailing your marketing messaging, again, for a market that can afford your services. So what happens on the other side of this, because we've done this myself, we've also had many clients do this, is that everything becomes easier. Okay, I was just on a one-on-one with a dietitian that we've been working with for a couple of months. And when she came to us, she was just working with young girls with eating disorders. And so her sales cycles were also really long. She was too relying on referrals. These girls were coming to her from other clinics and like strategic partnerships that she'd set up in her community. But then they would come to her, and then they wouldn't really see the value, and why are you charging so much? And I guess I have to go to see if I can get this paid for by insurance. And she was just dragging, after about 5 years of doing that, she was definitely changing lives, and she had clients. A few a month would kind of trickle in through her door. But she was like, I need a way to break out of this because people aren't seeing my value. So we reoriented her messaging, and then we redistributed the messaging and got her connected with a more up-leveled niche, and our systems got connected to people that she really was excited to work with again. And now she has an Olympic athlete reaching out to her, and elite runners reaching out to her, and even other health professionals who still have food, body, and weight issues. And it's because we shifted her messaging. She told me this just feels so much easier. People are coming to me pre-qualified because of her messaging, because of her application process. And she also told me she's having the easiest conversations that she's ever had and enrolling high ticket clients every single week. If we are being honest, there are very few coaches who can say that. And I share this with you because I want you to know it's possible. And it's not just hope, and it's not just manifesting. Yes, you need good energy and positive people and people who believe in the law of attraction. Like, you're going to manifest beautiful things in your life, and you're going to have great client interactions. But you also need the system for consistent lead gen, which we have, and the right messaging to make it all hum and click. So again, for this dietitian, she's telling me, everything is easier. I have way bigger types of people reaching out to me. She's also someone who has 2 little kids. So she can't just take everyone on and book a bunch of more one-on-ones and just do more. So she's getting to be choosy and really hand select the people that she wants to work with, just like we are. And the other thing that happens when you start to market yourself like the full solution, or like not the service provider, but when you market yourself as a solution, people don't come expecting you to book a bunch of one-on-ones with them or bend over backwards. And that was a big hesitation for this new client that we enrolled. She was like, look, I'm not a spring chicken. I've been in this game. I have a book coming out this week. I have an in-person practice. She's a physician. So I can't just be doing a bunch of one-on-ones. And we said, perfect. I don't want to do a bunch of one-on-ones either. This is even more reason to position you as a solution provider, because people will be coming to you to get the result, not because they need 60 minutes of your time on Zoom. What is that really going to get them? The more you sit on Zoom, the more they talk in circles. And so we're working with her to not just position her message, but also position her offer in the way that she fulfills, to be oriented towards the dream outcome, the solution, the transformation that these high achievers really want. And when I've done that, I've been able to win back 20 hours a week because I'm not on so many one-on-ones. And I'm watching our clients get amazing results. Again, they too are enrolling clients over the holidays, not because I'm holding their hand every single minute of every single day, but because they have exactly the kind of support that they need. Now, like I said, with the messaging call, there are some things that need to be a one-on-one. And with coaches, you're still gonna need to do one-on-one touch points, and most of you will need to deliver some one-on-ones. But it's very different to take a one-on-one when someone is focused on transformation than it is when people think I'm just hiring you because someone referred you to me and I think you're gonna do all these things for me, or referral expectations are the hardest. So also, sidebar, if you've been running your business just on referrals, know that on the other side, in your cold market, you really get to show up as the expert that you are. You don't become the maid, you actually become the master. And I have seen this shift so much. Like I said, I won back 20 hours a week. Our clients are getting better results because they're focused on winning. And I've designed our program to have them win, not just come sit on Zoom and we're gonna be girlfriends. I remember being on one-on-ones, and first of all, always being afraid that they'd say, you know what, I think I have to pause. I ran out of money, or this thing came up. People were always just quitting on a whim. And that made me very insecure because I needed that cash flow. I didn't know where my next client was coming from, but I did always feel that insecurity. I had to make up the next thing we were gonna do, or how am I gonna delight, what am I gonna do? Am I just a girlfriend, a glorified freelancer or a maid or someone who's just here to entertain you? I wanted to be someone who actually got people results. And coaches should be thinking in that way too. You want your people to win. You want those amazing transformational stories. Just booking a bunch of one-on-ones is never gonna make that happen, right? So we're actually leveraging our expertise to get people results. We also are charging and making a lot more money. Let's be honest, the bigger problems that you solve, the more money you can charge. And so a year ago, I was just in churn, okay? Clients were coming and going. I also had team that I was paying them to try to help me fulfill, because I was just so this. I don't know how else to explain it besides with my hands of just keeping balls in the air in all these different places. So I had team overhead, I had dozens of clients to try to make happy. It was a mess. And the worst part was I wasn't even paying myself because cash flow was so bad. But now that we've made this transformation to being solution providers, I now have 70% profit margins after paying a team. I know having a team is not everyone's goal, but it always has been mine. I love leading leaders. I love the idea of having a team. But even after paying a team, I'm still paying myself 70% profit. Another thing that's very unheard of in any business. And I know coaches don't have a lot of overhead, but if you're someone who wants to think about winning your life back, you do start to think about delegating or hiring, and then the money goes, but you maybe get some lifetime back. But for me, it was never really enjoyable because I was always anxious about keeping all of those balls in the air. So the best part about this is really the compound effect. Knowing that every single week we're enrolling 1 to 2 of these amazing OG hand-selected people that we love working with, and we have more in the pipeline every single week. So this means that we're having great clients, which means that money is also compounding. But the best part for me now is that the results are compounding. And we've created this ecosystem where new people come in and they can see people a couple months down the line or a couple weeks down the line winning. And I'm not the only coach anymore, because when you have a community of people, you have coaching happening within the program. They've created their own little pods. They are cheering each other on. So again, it's so much bigger than me and just selling my energy or just hoping that they like me. Sure, this new client said, Hannah, I want my sales to go like you, but she actually talked to some other people from my team even before she talked to me. So she's actually respecting my gifts. She's actually showing up ready to win, and she has this entire ecosystem that is the other clients from other weeks to be a part of this transformational journey. Another thing about coaching is that transformation doesn't happen in isolation. You and I can have a conversation and you can say, oh, I've seen your growth. But if I don't take that out into the world, if I don't show that in other relationships, then it's not transformation. And so this community is also being built while I'm paying myself, while I'm sleeping like a baby, while I'm just showing up to welcome new clients every week. And I feel back in my zone of genius, because as coaches, we were never meant to just worry about the marketing. And this new OG client knows that. She's like, I've been doing business. I have an in-person practice. I don't want to just be thinking about marketing or hosting webinars or hiring someone to do my website. I want to work with people. And I'm the same way. So now I really see myself having 2 jobs. I'm the face of my brand and I coach people in my program. And when I'm the face of my brand, that used to be, webinars and events and launches and content and all of that. But now it's just me documenting my process like this. And then I go and I coach the clients that we have, and then I'm working part-time again because of the systems. Now, there's a building phase, right? I just told this new client in her kickoff call, I was like, you're gonna wanna think about this like grad school, because there is a building phase. We do need to do that messaging deep dive. You do need to take it out to your market and test it. You do need to show up for some initial market research calls to make sure that it's going to work long term. But if you do this once, if you actually build the system, then you get to show up in your zone of genius. Then you get to be the face of your brand. And so many of us, because the gurus have taught us to just go out, be the face, blast, 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 without doing the foundational work of making sure, is this going to work? We're burning out. So we talked about, do grad school, let's get this foundation in place so that then you can graduate into being the CEO and running the coaching business that you want. And I spent all of 2024 building the foundation, getting amazing client results, building, so that now 2025 is when I've decided to turn back on the marketing side of things. So if you're a coach and you've been out there building a brand or manifesting or just hoping that clients are going to come from whatever little activities you're doing, networking, relying on referrals, manifesting, doing webinars, that's all fleeting if it's not grounded in a system for client acquisition and fulfillment that's going to work long term. It's okay. I didn't think about that first either. I thought, okay, just go out and do the marketing stuff, figure out the rest later. But I want us all to be thinking, like this new OG coach, that we need to build the base of abundance first. So that's what we're going to be doing with her. First, nailing the messaging, then getting her our systems for client acquisition, and then making sure it works. There's a testing phase. And then ensuring that her fulfillment is not just a bunch of one-on-ones that exchanges her time for money, but it's actually oriented around getting people real solutions. And because I'm in this lane, and because we get our clients in this lane to just be the face of your brand and work with clients, like, think about it for yourself. If that's all you had to do in a day, how much inspiration, how much energy, how much of that visionary within you would come back out and be ready to think about, what else can I add to my program? What do they need to hear or see or experience? Because you're not in that reactionary mode of, okay, I'm taking referrals, I'm booking one-on-ones, I'm keeping everyone busy. Remember, that was like the worst phase of my business ever. It was so anxiety provoking. There was so much scarcity. I get a knot in my stomach just thinking about how it used to feel to not have systems. And so what you want to do is those things about marketing, get that in place. Okay, the marketing stuff is not where you need to live. You need to do that so that you can live in the place of thinking about how to solve big problems, how to transform lives, how to get amazing results. And I'm gonna say it again. You're not gonna change lives sitting on Zoom all day, every day. You're gonna give them some hopium, but I want you to be able to be back in that empowered place to use your gifts to change the world. And that's what we get to do with a CEO system. Get the marketing stuff taken care of so you can dream again, so you can create and actually work with people. That's what this is all about. And we have forgotten as coaches, and this is why I'm recording this video. It's like, if you want to get out of your referral network, you're probably thinking, ugh, then I have to do marketing. You just have to do enough marketing so that you can work with the right type of people, okay? And on the other side of that is, paying yourself first, actually getting results every single week, actually getting clients every single week, and being in integrity. And we need this, coaches. I love you, that's why I'm doing this, but the world does not need another PDF lead magnet. The world does not need another podcast full of you trying to convince people that you are God's gift to earth. The world does not need another 90-minute masterclass about setting goals. The world needs you actually working with people, actually transforming lives, not doing all of this marketing hullabaloo that is burning you out and is not what you came to Earth School to be participating in. Okay? So we build the foundations, we test, we get you working with real people so you can live in your zone of genius and build out the solutions that the world needs. So I hope some of this resonated and it gives you some ideas about how to approach the year, especially if you're spinning your wheels in all the directions and worried about burnout or not sure where your next client is coming from. I hope you took some notes, got something good out of this. And I'm going to be coming back every week with more just insights from the field, because I know these are the lessons that we need that no one else is actually telling us or showing us. It's not just hopium, it's not just manifesting, it's not just your one funnel away. It's about building foundations and showing up as the full solution. Be the master, be the solution that the world needs this year. Cheers to growth.